Hey y'all, I'm Scrub, and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It has been a hot minute, but we are back. Last time we parted with Sir Hans on less than amicable terms, so now we are actually free to do whatever we want, wherever we want. The main overarching objective is to go crash this wedding, but even the game said there's no rush to get around to it, so let's go around and do probably every other side thing before we even do this. Fantastic. Although first we should get our bearings, because that is something to keep in mind with this game, and it was a thing in the first game as well. We are just a peasant again at this point. Granted, we do technically have that experience that we had. We are back down to, it says level 6 at least, but yeah, we were level 18, I think. So we have a while to get back up to where we were. And we do have some quest markers, but before we do anything, I'm actually going to talk to Bara again, because she has a lot of good information.
It's no wonder nobody wants anything to do with me. I look like a vagrant.
At least you're not walking around bare-assed. Although, that might not be a sorry sight.
Ah, very funny. I'd rather you tell me where I might get some clothes.
And what do you have in mind? Brocade and satin? A monk's robe? Or perhaps Sir Brunswick's armor?
Probably these two, because stealth could be very good early game. On the other hand, it never hurts to have some armor. Yeah, I feel like early game armor we're probably going to scavenge more than anything, so let's see if she knows anything about stealth.
I'd prefer something a little more ordinary. I'd like to blend in with the locals and not attract attention.
After what you did here with that friend of yours, even the deaf and blind would immediately recognize you.
Fair.
But between the two of us, it's easy enough to scrounge up a shirt and trousers if you know where to look.
Maybe I should have asked more about armor or something like that, but thanks for the lockpick.
Thanks. These will come in handy.
Just don't get yourself caught again.
Of course, having money early game could be very vital to our survival.
I have no money. I might as well beg on the village green like you.
The hell you will. This is my turf. Here you
Fair.
go. I'll skip supper.
Oh.
It's partly your doing anyway.
Wow. I mean, thank you. Seriously.
Yeah, don't start crying. You'd better find some work quick.
She just gave us 5 groschen even though she's begging. In exchange, I think it's only fair that once we start making a metric fuck ton of money, we give her 5,000 groschen. I think that's only fair. Also, you wouldn't happen to have a horse, would you?
Oh, damn. I could use a horse. It'll take years to get to Semin on foot.
Don't exaggerate. This province is small.
Still, it'll be faster with a horse.
There's a stud farm in Semin, renowned far and wide.
And which way is Semin?
Southwest from here, not too far. There's a road goes right there from the green. Just go down the hill. Once you see the walled farmhouse, you're there. Though, I'll be a queen before you can afford a horse from Semin.
I doubt we're going to steal a horse, because I feel like that's not a great way to get a name around here. We'll probably head over there at some point. Also, where's a good place for us to pass out, because we literally have nothing.
Do you know where I might find accommodation?
Betty in the tavern lets people sleep in the hay. But you have to pay.
I'm not going near that tavern. I'd catch hell again. Got any other ideas?
If you find some work, maybe you'll get a place to sleep too.
Okay, that could be something to look into. Okay, before we go too far out, we do have a couple things on the map already. This is a POI tipster. We also have a quest tipster and another one, so probably go talk to some of the local townspeople, get some ideas about where we need to go and what we need to do. Okay, so you're actually one of them. How about we don't talk to you? That probably won't work out well. And I need to wash myself off a bit. First bit of information is apparently going to come from this merchant, so let's start talking with him. What's over the hill?
I wanted to ask you, what's on the other side of that nearest hill? I'm not from here, and I'd like to get my bearings. You look like a merchant to me, so you probably know best.
Ja, natürlich, you are not from here. Everyone around here knows that, after what happened in Betty's Tavern. Aber das ist deine Sache. That is your business, lad. Also, what do you want to know?
Where can I find a church round here? I'm surprised you don't even have a small chapel in the village.
If you want. Die Rettung deiner Seele, junger Mann. You have to go through the forest to Aujetz and to St. Katharinen. Herr von Berge does have a chapel in his castle, but it's not for commoners like you. We do not go there either. Und warum auch? The gravedigger Ignatius takes care of burials outside the village, and weddings usually take place without a local priest. No one wants to pay the church more than they have to. Das ist ja wohl klar.
Okay, that's a little bit interesting. So the local area might not necessarily be as close to the church as some other places we're used to in a time where religion is pretty central to life. Okay, that could be interesting.
Is there anything I should avoid around here?
Certainly. Stirring up trouble and sticking your nose into other people's business. Here in the village, we don't care much for outsiders. If any do come, they better behave.
I understand that, but we were ambushed by bandits. So I wanted to ask if you know anything about that.
Ach so, ich verstehe. The woods have been full of all manner of rebel recently. That is all because of the war. Verdammte Schurken.
So you've already heard about these bandits?
About those ones in particular, or about others. They are all just gleichen Scheißkerle. Every time I go to the town, the bailiff must send an armed escort with me. It makes life difficult.
So the roads aren't safe?
Ja, das kann man wohl sagen. Herr von Bergo should do something about it at last. But Herr Otto spends more time in Prague than here, and Chamberlain Ulrich... Ach, lassen wir das.
Yeah, we've had great times with them so far. Is there anyone else selling stuff here, by the way?
Can I find other merchants around here?
Zum Glück nicht, junger Mann. I'm the only merchant here around Trotsky. Oh, natürlich. There are plenty of tradesmen here who sell their goods. There is Bartosz, the tailor. He lives at the other end of the village. The apothecary, Emmerich, lives across from me. They are hand in glove, or more like hat in hat.
What do you mean by that?
Nichts weiter. Just that they play at being educated men. Along with the scribe Geibel, they are always studying some Latin tracts. But of the three, perhaps only Geibel knows Latin, if he really does at all.
Is there anyone else here?
Oh ja. Beyond the tailor's house on the edge of the village is where Bashka the butcher lives. Opposite the Rathaus is the carpenter. The rest of the villagers are just peasants, and you are already familiar with the tavern.
Sounds like this town's going to be pretty central to us for a while. Sounds like they have a decent little variety of things going on here. And what other towns are nearby? We know about Samine, but there's probably some other decent ones.
Where do you go for wares? What's the closest town?
The closest is Sobotka, the biggest Gichin, what you call Gichin. And farther north there is Turnov. Half of that one belongs to Herr von Bergo.
Is it far?
Das kommt darauf an. It takes all day on foot. Wenn du was brauchst, the goods I have here will have to do you. I do not think you will get to the town anytime soon.
Probably not the best idea to be trying to make long, dangerous treks at this early point in the game. And we don't really have the money to trade, so thank you. Okay, it looks like the quests are actually going to come from the bailiff himself, so this is probably worth figuring out. Hello, bailiff.
I'd like to report an ambush. Some scoundrels attacked my lord's retinue and killed our men.
That's a serious matter. Where is your lord?
Well, he left.
I don't understand why he's not lodging a complaint himself, and why not directly at the castle. He has that right as a lord.
It's a long story. My lord got very angry and then went missing.
Sorry, fella, but I'm not sure whether you're making it up or lying to me. But if you were telling the truth, why don't you bring your lord here and we can talk it all over calmly? I'm sorry, lad, but until then, I've got more important things to do.
At least we tried.
I'd like to buy something. Where can I find some merchants around here?
If it's a tradesman you're after, most of them live here in the village, of course. Your best bet is to ask our merchant Jörg. He knows everyone. I'm sure he'll help you.
All right, well, ignoring the gentleman that just showed up behind me, you've been pretty useless so far. Any chance you know where Hans ran off to?
Excuse me, I'm looking for the man who was in the pillory with me yesterday. Have you seen him?
I can't help you with that. You'll have to find him yourself.
Alrighty, 0 for 3. You're my favorite.
I need to speak with Sir Otto.
With the Royal Chamberlain? Are you yanking my official pizzle?
Why not?
I'd like to talk to him too, boy, but he's still in Prague. He's hardly ever here. Chamberlain Ulrich is in charge of things.
And where do I find him?
Where do you think? Up in the castle.
But they won't let me in there.
What do you want me to do about it? That's your problem. I'm not going to put in a word for you. I hardly know you.
That went about as well as we thought it could, but we can actually check up on him now. Maybe we can help with something.
What's new, bailiff?
Nothing special. Fortunately, Trotskovitz is a quiet village. It's peaceful here, and the war has avoided us so far, thank God. Just here and there a brawl in the tavern or the neighbours' errant cow. Well, that's how it was until recently, at least.
And what happened?
What do you think? It started with that nomadic riffraff, theft of hens and sheep, then continued with ambushes on the road. And then the wolves started to come in from the forests on account of the poachers killing off their prey. Oh, and then our master Chamberlain Ulrich. Oh my God. But that's no business of yours, understand?
I understand. That's your business, Bailiff.
Okay, so this might be our requests, hopefully.
What's new in the county, Master Bailiff?
I heard something's going on in Takoff again. Project the Innkeeper is probably coming up with some mischief to pull on the Gelievites. Will they never cut it out? Their bickering is making work for me. And now I've been visited by one of the local peasants. He said he found more fresh graves behind his field, just below the village, along the road to Nabokov.
What do you mean, more? You sound like this isn't the first time.
That we found someone buried here? Don't even ask. I've been digging up bodies ever since that bandit gang started running rampant. Most of them are von Burgo's men. Also, if it wasn't bad enough that gang of bandits is rampaging through the region, now someone's stealing cabbage from the peasants. What a disaster.
Cabbage?
Aye, and the peasants won't stop bugging me about it. I was just visited by a peasant from Jadar. He's been talking my ears off for God knows how long. Say, do I really have to do this? Do I have the time to look for some moron stealing cabbages? And that's about it.
That sounds interesting. Thank you.
Alrighty, there was quite a bit of decent little stuff there, so thanks for...
Look out!
Excuse me? If I could drop a safety save, you would probably be dead. Thank you, Bailiff.
Halt! Search! Show me what you've got on you!
Okay, chill.
Go ahead and search me.
Come
I've got
on,
nothing to hide.
spread him!
I already did.
Everything in order.
I know
Carry
it is. Alright, so... guards are a lot more suspicious in this game than I'm used to. It could also be that I was in the pillory. You could get that in the original game. It didn't happen very often, at least for me. Yay, Peasant Simulators back in full force. Love it. Also, I did just see on the map for a second, Alchemy Bench. Is that? Ooh. Or Bojena. Okay, no problem. Can we actually go in here? Is this somebody's property? Okay, there is a free Alchemy Bench, as it turns out. Dope. And a drying rack as well. Okay, so we can dry apples and the alchemy stuff as well. I'm guessing that'll make this stuff just last longer. This stuff is already low condition, so we should probably just dry all of it to make sure it can maintain some stuff, and probably do the same with our food preserves as well. Oh, actually, it improves nutritional value and makes it last longer. Okay, so probably just dry everything you can. Yeah, that actually was kind of the steez in the first game as well. You could get by on pretty much wine and dried meat for the entire game. The nettle and belladonna, we want to start making these things en masse. And then chamomile and sage, so we can have a little bit of a boost while we're sleeping, will probably be good to have on hand. And there's actually a lot of herbs just outside this place, so I'm gonna grab as much as I can from around here. I'll get back with you guys in a couple minutes. Oh, there's even marigold. Okay, if we can get the decoction, that would be good, because I think that was actually pretty solid healing in the last game. Not to mention now that you have the new pouch and belt system, you can actually use them in combat. These things could be really good. And we also had the level up, so we'll check these out really quick. Gaining more reputation quickly or losing less. I feel like Charming Man is just going to be better because we're going to be going out of our way to avoid loss. It could also just be that that's more frequent in this game than the other one, so maybe the other one's good as well, but I feel like Charming Man is just a better bet. So this will lower your agility requirement, and also if you have the higher agility than the requirement, you lower stamina consumption, which will be very good. On the other hand, fall damage is super lethal in this game, and being able to just do a little bit more of the parkour stuff, which might also be a bit more of a thing in this game, given that intro section. We'll probably want both of these at some point. I'm going to start with Deft Hands, just because we need as much help in combat as we can until we get everything sorted out, and a couple decent little options here. If we get stuff up to top condition and sell it, we'll get a bunch of money for it. Well, 10%, but you know, higher condition is going to sell for more as well, so it's a compounding effect. A 4 speech bonus to all haggling seems very good as well. I'm going to go for that one. In the last game, you did have to make some hard choices because you didn't have enough points to get everything. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same thing this time around. I'm going to play like that for a while, but we'll see how everything looks. Okay, speaking of drying, raw stuff, including fruit and herbs, going down slower for when you don't have a drying rack. Oh, this is also really fun. So while you're brewing, which is a long process by nature, your energy replenishes instead of going down, and you don't need to eat. That is very interesting. That could be a good one early game. And of course, selling potions is always going to be a great profit. I'm not sure if this is a smart choice. I'm kind of avoiding the selling ones because generally, in my experience, in the last game at least, which pretty much all this stuff's going to be based off of, you could sell so much that you didn't really need to worry about getting the most out of each piece because there was just so much to sell, especially once you get your horse and you have that extra carry capacity. I feel like this will be a little bit more important early game to try and keep us going for as long as possible without needing to rest. So a nice little bonus to using the grindstone to repair stuff to max condition. You'll get a 10% damage boost until it goes down to 75. Stamina reduction for sprinting if you repair your own boots. That was a little bit more difficult than normal armor repair because you have to have a cobbler kit versus the armor repair kit, and I don't think we're going to be doing good repairs for a while, so we will want this eventually. I don't think we want it right away. And speaking of armor and clothing repair, stuff that you repair makes less noise. The grindstone is also a free way to repair stuff, so I think just encouraging us to do that and also get more damage output, again, especially early game, this seems pretty good, so we'll go for Razor Sharp. And the drinking perks are always a lot of fun. So we can reduce fall damage while we're drunk, which sounds hilarious. The other one seems a little bit more useful, however, because now you won't get hangovers. And when you're drunk, you're also going to sleep more comfortably, so you're going to get better quality rest. And you can usually live off of road wine for quite a while, so I think a nightcap might actually be pretty good. Oh, right. Yeah, you can actually do melee from horseback and now. I don't think you could in the last game. I'm pretty sure you couldn't. It looks like it's going to be an active part of this game because it's going to be horse-to-horse combat, I think. That'll be fun. Okay, this one's interesting because it's talking about saddlers, but it's talking about the cobbler kit. So get a bonus to thieving if you're picking pockets, but it's got to be so far away, so we'll start with saddler. We will definitely go back for night training at some point. Pretty easy one for scholarship so that we can just read a little bit more comfortably. This could also be a game where it's sometimes worth banking skill points to wait till you level up. That was there were a few perks like that in the last game that I usually went with. I'm just gonna start off with getting as much as I can because I don't know too much about this game. Okay, this one's a little bit more interesting because I feel like herbs could be pretty good to sell early game because you literally just grab them. Okay, this is actually a modification of a skill in the last game. I kind of like this one a little bit better. I'm pretty sure it was a perk, either that or it was one of the hardcore perks. I don't remember. But it actually flipped the quality of beds. So if you slept in a good bed, you would get terrible sleep. But if you slept on like basically a cot on the ground, you would get good sleep. This one increases the quality of beds based on survival. It can only upgrade it to 50% with your survival, and then high quality beds don't benefit, but it's also not a negative. I like the idea of this one. I feel like Poacher's Trail might be just better though. Okay, so just buffing helmets to reduce head damage, that seems fairly important. Blocks will cost you 20% less stamina, and your shield and weapon will wear down 20% slower by blocking. That feels like that's an auto grab. The other one's good, but that's just so good. Oh, here we go. This is, yeah, a little bit closer to what archery was actually for. It's not necessarily for killing, it's harassment. So slower stamina recovery and also reducing their capability. Because usually you just want to like rip 1 or 2 shots before combat and then you go to your sword or mace, what have you. So this seems really nice. This is another interesting one. This one's encouraging you to actually take your time and aim your shot first. So if you stand still for 2 seconds or more, your stamina drains a lot slower and your shot gains a lot more damage. I think mid-late game, you can get a lot better at your archery. And of course, this game has gunpowder as well as crossbows. So the range combat might be a lot more viable. I do think I still like the idea of crippling shot, because this could be very useful, especially if you're going to take on a bunch of opponents. Okay, there we go. Perks are all picked out. Okay, I was curious about this. He does have a spade for sale. However, it costs 6.9 groschen. Okay, each one's going to sell for 0.1 groschen. We should be fine. All right, and our first taste of haggling. We don't want to go for too low of an offer, because then he'll just get pissed. Let's say we'll pay 1 groschen.
How's this?
Well, if you offer a little bit more, we can make a deal.
Okay, well, how about we meet in the middle? I'll give you 1.5.
Why? You'll convince me with that price? Das war ein gutes Geschäft. Auf
There we
Wiedersehen.
go. So now we pay a little bit, but more importantly, now we have a spade. Huzzah, which means we can start digging up graves, which sounds really bad, but counterpoint, we are completely broke and the stuff's gonna go to waste anyway, so somebody might as well use it, right? And speaking of, yeah, that area down there, it said it was von Bergov's men. I'm assuming most of the useful stuff will have been stripped off of them, but it can't hurt to have a look, right? Caravan, huh? Hey, dude.
What happened to you?
I'm in big trouble.
How so?
I lost a letter. A very important letter. I was supposed to deliver it to my master by tonight.
I'm sorry to hear that. You need help looking for it?
Would you like me to help you look for it?
There's no point now. I've been on the road for 2 days as it is. We'll never make it by tonight.
Any idea where you lost it?
Do you know where you might have lost it?
I haven't the faintest idea. It must have slipped out somewhere along the way.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for you. Was it an important letter?
What was in the letter?
I have no idea what it said. For one thing, it was a secret, and for another, I can't read. But it was my master's beloved who sent it. That's why it was so important.
Oh, so it could just as easily have been a lewd verse.
I don't really care what was in it. The point is, I don't have it.
You know what? People who can't read make for great messengers. That's true.
You should have been more careful with it. Losing the one thing you're supposed to deliver.
I know. So I forgot to check my bag this morning, all right? But now it's gone, and I'm fucked.
I have to be going. I hope you find the letter.
Me too. Because if I don't, I'm in for a lashing.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Wait! I have an idea. Punch me in the face.
What?
Smack me in the gob. I'll say I was ambushed on the way and they took the letter.
That's an interesting idea. Are you entirely sure about that?
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I'd rather take a couple of punches from you than a lashing from my master. I could tell you to stop when I've had enough. But he wouldn't. So you get why it's better for me to be slapped around by you, right?
This does presumably give me some unarmed combat XP, so I am a man of the people.
Very well then. Defend yourself. Or not. It's up to you. You ready?
I am.
Hey, can we move away from the train of people? It's okay, he wants this.
These days, no one's ever really safe.
Nah, see, he's totally fine.
All right.
That was rough.
Do you think that's enough?
I definitely. I'm sore all over. Oh, my mouth most of all.
Glad to be of help then. Take care.
Okay, I think I may have gone a little bit overboard, but you know what? If that's better than what your master will do, I'm glad I helped you. We can hop on carts. Interesting. Hey, y'all. I take it you guys want to fight.
Be glad to have a drink with you fellows.
That's precisely what young Petska and me are doing here. We like to roll dice too.
Oh, I'll be more than happy to play with you. But first, I need to know who you are.
No worries there. I'm Bohush. Me and Petska here are just honest-to-goodness labourers.
Yeah, you don't look like you're just working. You seem a little bit more fit for that.
Not that it's any of my concern, but you don't look like labourers to me. What's with the weapons?
Well, the roads can be very perilous nowadays, so it's good to have a piece of steel for protection, right? Luckily, it usually only takes a well-aimed smack or a couple of punches, and I can lay anyone out with my bare hands.
Also, apparently you smell like horse sweat.
You smell of horse sweat, yet I see no horses.
Look, no disrespect, we may not be labourers, true, but we're no crooks neither. In short, we look for horses, for a very well-heeled mistress. But only strays, that's all.
So, horse traders for hire?
Yeah, something like that. But we're pretty bored right now, and we're at a loose end.
I don't think it's probably the best idea to immediately try and fight some random guys. These guys should probably beat the crap out of me, and we do have a bit of a trek ahead of us, so I'll catch up with you guys later.
I think I'll be going now, lads. Goodbye.
God be with you and travel safe.
Okay, the good news here is that there is so much stuff to pick out in the fields just where south of Trotsky. Yeah. So I feel like if you need a decent little handful of cash in the early game, you should be taken care of. It's not gonna buy me a new sword and board anytime soon, but it should at least buy me something to eat or get me a nice place to sleep for a night. I suppose it might also be worth checking to see if dried herbs or fresh herbs sell for more. Because if I can just run down here and then run straight back and sell, that could be a pretty nice little way to turn a profit. I assume it's a negligible difference, so I'm probably better off just drying everything to make sure it maintains durability. Okay, here we go. Found some poppy. It's a little bit more rare. I think I remember this being something very useful in the last game. Unfortunately, still haven't found anything for savior schnapps, but everything we get ahead of time is something we don't have to worry about later. I am also going to be curious if there are going to be any potions that specifically call for fresh ingredients. That could make things interesting. And there we go, level 8 survival. So it's not its own thing anymore, but if it's linked up with survival, that's probably decent. Well, I think I found what I'm probably going to end up grabbing. That's going to be almost a constant. That's awesome. Okay, that's a pretty good one as well. So it'll reset whatever you cook, dry, or smoke to 100% for all food items. So if you get it in just before it goes bad, it won't end up being bad when you cook it. That could be very nice. And apparently herbs always go up to 100% whenever they're dried, so that's definitely worth doing. I think early game conversation could be very good, so I'm actually going to go for flower power since I think that's going to start right away. Ooh, another rare one, wormwood this time. I think this might be useful for poisons if I remember right. Which we'll definitely want to get into the poison making because I'm sure that's also a lot more interesting than it used to be as well. Okay, abandoned little campsite over here. Nothing too crazy out back, unfortunately. I don't think we can even scavenge anything. Oh, nettle dough. We actually need some of this.
Why the fuck is that sheep lying there? Ugh, it's starting to smell. And it's all torn up.
Okay, this looks like there's some useful stuff we could grab. Let's talk to this guy first. I couldn't talk to him earlier. Maybe now I can, that I know he's mutilating sheep.
Greetings to you. How can I help?
Why do you have a dead sheep lying here?
There was those fucking wolves. They mauled it. And it was in lamb on top of that.
I was wondering why it's all torn up.
But I'll put an end to it. I got myself some poison. I'm gonna rub it all over the sheep and then leave it somewhere in the woods. That ought to make them lose appetite for my sheep.
Oh, damn. I don't want Mutt to get poisoned.
Mutt?
My dog. He ran away.
You better find him then, and soon. Farewell.
Interesting little idea there. Counterpoint. I saw somebody else walking around here. Let's make sure they're not looking. Anyone inside? Okay. So... That... Hey, dog. Good boy. Okay, looks like the graves are actually a little bit further east of here than where I'm at. So we're gonna do a little bit of wood exploration, see if there's anything hiding out here. And a bunch of chamomile, so we should probably grab a decent little handful of this. So far, the area does seem to have a pretty solid variety of different herbs to grab. So as long as we can get our hands on some recipes, we should be able to do quite a bit. Wait, what's that? Okay, I thought I saw the observation hair. I got scared for a second, but it looks like we're fine. Yeah, I'm not sure if they've added any new ones to make more interesting recipes. I assume they've made a bunch of new ones, but it will be nice to... Ooh, hunting. Okay. Oh, that's nice. The game actually marks it for you now. I think those are boars, so we definitely don't want to go mess with them. Oh, no, it's roe, apparently. They look a bit short. I don't know. Maybe it's the angle. Oh, hello. Don't mind me. I'm not trying to hunt anything right now. I'm just wandering around looking for treasure, which sounds like a dumb idea now that I say it out loud, but counterpoint... treasure. We have also gotten way off the beaten path. Here we go. Yeah, we need to go back north now. Oh, hello. Laipota. Whoa. A human that's not killing me on sight. That is shocking, to say the least. I wonder if we're actually going to interact with humans in this game, other than wholesale slaughter. And here we go. Fresh gravesite. So go ahead and start looking around, see if there's anything we want.
Another of von Bergov's men.
Oh, hello. A decent little layer of stuff, actually. It's all in pretty bad condition. Oh, there's multiple, though.
Another of von Bergov's men? But this one has a cross.
All right, as far as I can tell, it's just these two, unless one's a bit further out. Okay, a slight shuffling of armor around. It looks like we are a little bit better looking, I will say. Did also pick up an axe and a mace, which we probably won't be using for a while because they also have some pretty low durability. Some of the stuff does sell for decent, so it could be worth trying to sell this in town. And there's a game trying to tell you to make sure you don't use damaged stuff if you don't have to. Unfortunately, we don't really have another option, so we're stuck with it until we can get it fixed up.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you.
Cheers. I hope you have an uneventful shift.
Okay, speaking of that, is that some stuff down in the road? Oh. How did... Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not sure if I can take on two guys at once right now. And I can't drop a safety save. That could also be good loot, however. You know what? I would kill for a pair of binoculars right now. I can't tell how well armed they are. The guy on the right, I think, has armor. And a sword. I don't see a shield. You know, this would be the exact situation where a bow would be amazing. You know what? Guts or glory. Let's go be a hero. Hello, gentlemen. Oh. Okay, draw one of you away, maybe?
Hey, sling your hook. Let's just take it easy. I'm not looking for any trouble. A good thing, fool.
You know what? I'll just be on my way, gentlemen.
I'll kill you.
Oh, you really want to do this? All right.
Oh, your arsehole.
Okay, I need stamina.
Slash him on the head.
Okay, as it turns out, I'm still not up to grips with combat. Wow, that was embarrassing. That was really bad. And that puts us back at the beginning. How about we call this a part for here, ladies and gentlemen? A colossal waste of time, honestly. I'll run around, do all that stuff off camera, and then I'll get us to a slightly better point for the next part, don't you worry. It definitely takes some getting used to the combat in this game, and I am severely out of practice, as we all just clearly saw. So next time, I'll get back to a point where I figured out where we can at least save the game, because I don't want to really waste another hour in real time and just to lose it because I'm a little bit too ballsy. But we do have a couple ideas for where we need to go next, and what I was going to do before we got so rudely interrupted, and of course now it's on the map because this is the bad timeline, or I guess it's a good timeline because we're still alive, but I guess that's also a matter of perspective. Yeah, there was a grocer down there who was talking about having his cabbages stolen, so I think that could actually be kind of twofold. One, that could be a good source of food to eat, and two, we might be able to find a place to sleep out of that. So hopefully y'all are looking forward to that. Until then, thanks for stopping by. See you later.